Welcome to the ancient stones. Tonight, we are going somewhere together, somewhere quiet, somewhere deep, somewhere the world above cannot follow. Tonight, we descend into the earth, beneath the city of David, beneath Jerusalem, beneath centuries of memory, down into a passage carved 2,700 years ago by hands that worked in darkness for a city that needed water. This place is called Hezekiah's Tunnel, and it is waiting for you. It has been waiting for a very long time. We begin at dusk. The city of Jerusalem is settling into evening. The sky above the rooftops has shifted from gold to a deep, bruised blue, and the last warmth of the sun lingers on the limestone walls like a hand slowly withdrawing. The air is still warm. It holds the memory of the day, the dust, the light, the noise of the city. But it is beginning to cool just at the edges, just enough to notice. If you are paying attention, if you are quiet enough to feel it. Somewhere below you, a street lamp flickers on, and a shopkeeper pulls a gate closed, the metal scraping softly, and somewhere further away, a child is called inside, and the door closes gently. And now, before you, stone steps begin their descent. They are old, very old, worn smooth and shallow in the center by thousands of feet across thousands of years. Pilgrims have walked here, scholars, soldiers, monks, dreamers, all of them pressing their souls into this same stone, wearing it down, grain by grain, step by step. You place your foot on the first step, and you begin to go down. One step, then another. The air changes almost immediately. The warmth of the evening peels away from you like a shawl, slipping from your shoulders, and in its place, something cooler, something damp, rises to meet you from below. It is not an unpleasant coolness. It is the coolness of stone, of deep earth, of places where the sun has never reached. It settles against your skin like silk, like water, like the breath of something very old and very still. You breathe it in, and it fills your lungs with something clean, something mineral, something that tastes faintly of rain and rock and time. The sounds of the city are fading now. You can still hear them, but they are growing distant, as if someone is slowly turning down the volume. The voices, the traffic, the hum of electricity, all of it growing softer, softer, softer. Down and down you go. The light changes too. The golden glow of the street lamps fades, becomes gray, becomes shadow. Your eyes begin to adjust, slowly, the way eyes do in deep places. And then you see it. The entrance to the tunnel. It is a dark opening in the hillside, not grand, not decorated, just stone, shaped by hands, into an archway, into a mouth, into a doorway, between the world you know and the world that has been waiting. You stand at the threshold for a moment and you breathe. Behind you, the last of the twilight, pale and cool. Behind you, the city, the noise, the plans, the worries, the tomorrow that has been pulling at you all day. Before you, darkness and the faint sound of water. You step inside and the world transforms. The darkness wraps around you gently, like a blanket, like cupped hands. The air is cool now, genuinely cool and damp. It presses against your arms, your cheeks, the back of your neck. A soft, invisible presence everywhere. And the smell is extraordinary. Wet limestone, ancient mineral, moss, and water, deep water, living water. It is the smell of the earth's interior, the smell of patience, the smell of something that has been flowing long before you were born and will flow long after. The walls of the tunnel emerge from the darkness, close on either side. They are limestone, pale and rough, sometimes smooth where water has touched them for centuries, sometimes marked and scarred with the tools of the men who carved them. The ceiling is low, just above your head, close enough to feel if you reached up, close enough to remind you you are inside the mountain now. You are held by stone. And then you feel it. The water beneath your feet. The floor is wet, and not just wet. There is water here, ankle deep, cool and clear and still moving, flowing gently, persistently, from the Gihon spring above, down through this tunnel, toward the pool of Siloam below. The same water that has flowed here since the days of kings. You take your first step into the water, and the cold is immediate and perfect. It wraps around your feet, your ankles, and it is like stepping into a river of calm. The tension you have been carrying in your legs, in your body, in your bones, begins to release slowly with the cold, with the water, with the quiet. Splash. The sound echoes softly against the walls and then fades into silence. Splash. Another step, another small sound, another release. Walk slowly. There is no hurry here. There has not been a hurry here for 2,700 years. The tunnel does not rush. The water does not rush. And so you do not rush. You simply move forward, one step at a time, through the cool, dark water into the quiet. And as you walk, something begins to happen, something quiet, something gentle. The thoughts that have been circling in your mind all day, the worries, the plans, the regrets, the questions, they begin to settle like sediment in still water, sinking slowly to the bottom. leaving the surface clear. You are leaving the world behind, not with effort, not with force, but gently, naturally, the way night comes, the way breath leaves the body. You are simply walking into quiet, walking into cool, walking into the deep. He leads me beside still waters. The ancient words arrive unbidden, settling into the rhythm of your steps. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. And here in this tunnel, beneath a city, beneath a mountain, the words become more than words. They become experience. You are being led by water through stone into peace. The entrance is far behind you now. You turn and look back and see only darkness. The arch of light is gone, swallowed by the curve of the tunnel. And there is no fear in this, only a quiet, a letting go, a turning away from the surface toward the deep. And you walk deeper into the silence, into the cool, into the ancient way. Splash, step, splash, step. The rhythm of the tunnel carries you forward. You are deeper now. The entrance is behind you, lost in the curves of the tunnel, and the exit is not yet visible, somewhere ahead. You are between, held in the belly of the mountain, cradled by limestone, suspended in a passage that no one can see from the world above. And the sounds have changed. The splash of your footsteps is still there, soft and rhythmic, but around it, beneath everything, there is another sound, a sound that has been here all along, but that you are only now beginning to hear. Drip, drip, drip. Water falling from the ceiling to the floor, one drop at a time, each one forming slowly, swelling, holding, and then releasing, falling through the air, striking the surface below, and sending out a tiny ripple that spreads and fades and is still. Drip. It is hypnotic. It is the oldest rhythm in the world, older than drums, older than heartbeats, older than music. It is the rhythm of water finding its way through stone, through darkness, through time. And now you look more closely at the walls. Bring your light near, hold it close, and look, really look at the surface of the limestone. There, covering every inch of stone, are marks. Marks made by hand, by tool, by iron striking rock. Thousands of them, tens of thousands, clustered and scattered, in patterns, in rhythms, in the language of labor. These are the chisel marks of the men who carved this tunnel, and they are everywhere. A testament written in stone to patience, to endurance, to the slow, persistent work of human hands against an ancient mountain. Reach out and touch them if you like. Run your fingertips across the surface. Feel the roughness, the unevenness. Each mark is different. Each one was made by a different strike, a different hand, a different moment in a long, long process. Some of the marks are deep, gouged into the rock by arms that were strong and determined, by men working at the height of their energy, driven by purpose, by fear, by the knowledge that an army was coming. Others are shallower, barely scratches, made by tired hands at the end of long hours, when the pick felt heavy and the darkness felt endless. But still they struck, still they worked, because the water was needed. Look closely, and you can see the rhythm of their labor. The strikes cluster together, showing where a man stood in one spot, hitting the same place over and over, wearing the stone down, grain by grain, until a piece broke loose, and then he moved, a little to the left, a little to the right, and began again. How long did it take to carve this tunnel? How many days, how many weeks, how many months did these men spend here in the dark, with nothing but lamplight and limestone and each other? King Hezekiah ordered this work when he saw the shadow of the Assyrian army falling across the land. The greatest empire the world had ever known was marching toward Jerusalem, and their strategy was simple and terrible. Surround the city, cut off the water, and wait. Water is life. Cut off the water, and the city dies. And so Hezekiah called his engineers and said, "Find a way to bring water from the spring outside the walls to a pool inside the city, in secret, without the enemy knowing. Do it fast, do it well, do it now." And they did, but the way they did it is the miracle. They divided the workers into 2 teams. One team began at the Gihon spring outside the city walls, carving inward into the mountain. The other team began at the pool of Siloam inside the walls, carving outward into the same mountain. 2 teams working from opposite ends, blind to each other, separated by hundreds of feet of solid rock, carving toward a meeting point that neither could see. Imagine what that felt like. You are underground in total darkness, except for a flickering oil lamp. The air is close and damp. Your arms ache. Your hands are raw. You have been striking stone for hours, for days, and you cannot see where you are going. You cannot see the other team. You cannot see the end. You can only see the wall in front of you and the darkness beyond your light. And you strike again and again and again. But then, one day, while you rest, while the lamplight flickers, while the tunnel is quiet, you hear something. Tap, tap, tap. Faint, so faint, you're not sure at first if it's real, if it's your imagination playing tricks in the dark. But you go still and you listen, and there it is again. Tap, tap, tap. Coming through the stone, carried along the rock, vibrating through the limestone. The sound of another team's chisels striking on the other side of the mountain. Someone is coming. Someone is working toward you, through the dark, through the stone. Someone is on the way. The voice of one called to the other. The ancient inscription says, "And the waters flowed from the spring to the pool." They listened to each other through the rock. They adjusted their paths, following the sound, turning slightly, correcting their course, guided not by sight, but by sound, not by certainty, but by faith that the other team was there, that the other side was real, that the meeting would come. And it did. After months of work, after all those hours in the dark, after all those strikes against stone, the two teams broke through. Pick met pick. Light met light. Hands clasped hands. And for the first time in all those months, the workers saw each other's faces. And water flowed. Listen to it now. As you walk, the water at your feet. This is the water that saved a city. This is the water that flowed when the walls were breached. Through stone, through darkness, through faith. Splash. Step. Splash. Step. The tunnel curves, and you follow the curve, trusting the path, trusting the water, trusting the way. The walls lean in, then pull back. The ceiling dips, then rises. This tunnel is not straight. It was not planned to be. It follows the natural grain of the rock, the path of least resistance, the way water itself would choose to flow. And the torchlight, if you carry one, dances on the walls. The flame flickers and the shadows move. The chisel marks seem to shift, to deepen, to come alive. Light plays across the limestone, turning it gold in places, amber in others, shadow in others still. The whole tunnel breathing with light and dark. Drip, drip, drip. The water never stops. It has not stopped in 2,700 years. Not in drought, not in war, not in peace, not in the turning of empires. It simply flows, because it was made to flow, because the channel was carved for it, because the stone yields to it, slowly, over time. Splash, step, splash, step. You are moving through the middle of the tunnel now, and the air is at its coolest, at its most ancient. You breathe it in slowly, and it fills you with a calm that has no words, a peace that is older than language. It is the peace of deep places, of still water, of stone that has held its ground for millennia. And the words come again, rising like water from a place inside you that is deeper than thought. Whoever drinks the water I give will never thirst again. The water I give will become a spring, welling up to eternal life. living water, not just the cold stream at your feet, but something deeper, something that flows through the channels of grace, through the hidden passages of the soul, arriving where it is needed, in the dry places, in the dark places, in the places where nothing else can reach. The torchlight flickers, and for a moment, the tunnel is almost dark. And then it steadies, and the walls glow again, pale and ancient, and you continue forward through the echoing way. Splash, step, splash, step. Drip, drip, drip. The rhythm carries you forward. The living water. You are deep now, deeper than you have ever been, beneath a city. The weight of the world above, streets and stones, houses and gardens, walls and gates, all of it presses down gently above you, held by the mountain, held by the rock, and you, beneath all of it, in this carved sanctuary, in this quiet place. The air here is the stillest air you have ever breathed. It does not move. It does not change. It has been this temperature, this humidity, this quality of quiet for thousands of years. And when you breathe it in, it does not just fill your lungs. It fills something else, something deeper, something that has been waiting to be filled. You are safe within the rock. Say it again, let it settle. You are safe within the rock. Not as an idea, but as a feeling, as a knowing, as something that enters through the skin, through the cold of the water, through the silence of the stone. You are safe. The prophet Isaiah lived in this city, walked these hills. He saw what was coming, the Assyrian shadow falling across the land. And he spoke, not with fear, but with faith. He said, "The Lord himself will defend this city. He will shelter it. He will deliver it, for his own sake and for the sake of David, his servant." And here, in the deep places, in the carved belly of the mountain, the promise took shape. Water flowed where it was needed. A way was made where there seemed no way. The rock itself was opened to make room for life. Feel the walls beside you. Touch them if you wish. They are cool, consistently cool, like the hands of someone who is calm, someone who is steady, someone who does not shake or tremble or doubt. The stone is ancient. It was here before the city, before the kingdom, before the first human foot touched this hillside. And it will be here after, long after. It endures. And in this enduring, there is a kind of peace. A peace that does not depend on circumstances, on weather, on war or peace above. It is the peace of deep places, the peace of roots, the peace of foundations. You are safe within the rock. The water flows past your feet, and you notice something. The sound of it has changed, or perhaps you have changed. Perhaps your ears are more open now, more quiet. In the beginning, the water was background, white noise, a detail of the tunnel. But now it is the main sound, the central voice, the heartbeat of this place. Listen to it. Really listen. It is not one sound. It is many. The gentle rush of the stream against your ankles, the dripping from the ceiling above, falling in an irregular rhythm. Drop, pause, drop, pause, drop. The trickle from a crack in the wall, thin as a thread, persistent as a prayer. The deeper murmur of the water as it flows around a bend in the tunnel, carrying its voice with it into the dark. All of these sounds together make one voice, the voice of living water, the voice of provision, the voice of something that does not fail. Drip, drip. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. The psalmist knew this truth. David knew it. He was a shepherd once, before he was a king. He sat beside streams in the hills and watched the water and listened to it and let it quiet the noise in his mind. He knew that water is not just for drinking. It is for the soul, for the restoration of the soul, for the quieting of the restless heart. And here, in this tunnel, in this deep and ancient place, you are beside still waters, even though they move, even though they flow. There is a stillness in them, a faithfulness, a constancy that is its own kind of peace. He provides a way in the dark. Let that truth rest in you. Do not think about it too hard. Do not analyze it. Do not question it. Simply let it be there, like the water is there, flowing without effort, without striving, without force. He provides a way in the dark. You have felt this in your life, perhaps. Those moments when the path opened up before you, when something shifted, when a door appeared where there had been only wall, when provision came from a direction you could not have predicted, when the water flowed where you did not expect it to flow. That was this. That was the tunnel being carved on the other side of the stone by hands you could not see, toward a meeting point you could not imagine. The water flows where it is needed. It does not hesitate. It does not wonder if it is going to the right place. It simply follows the channel, follows the path of least resistance, follows gravity and grace, and arrives where it must arrive. And so, you do not have to know the way. You do not have to see the end of the tunnel. You do not have to carry the weight of the whole journey in your mind. You only have to take this step, this one step, and the water will carry you, and the stone will hold you, and the way will open when it is time for it to open. You are safe within the rock. The torchlight flickers again, and the shadows dance across the chisel marks on the wall. And for a moment, You can almost see them, the workers, the men who carved this place, their faces lit by lamplight, their arms swinging the pick, their breath coming in clouds of vapor in the damp, cold air, working together in the dark, trusting each other, trusting the sound of the other team on the other side of the stone. They could not see where they were going. They could not see the outcome. They could not know for certain that the two tunnels would meet, that the water would flow, that the city would be saved. They only knew that they had to try, that the work had to be done, that the picks had to fall, one after another, into the stone, and they did it anyway. In the dark, with faith, with hope, with the sound of another team tapping through the rock to remind them they were not alone. Tap, tap, tap. You are not alone. Drip, drip, drip. The water flows where it is needed. You are safe within the rock. The siege came just as Hezekiah feared. The Assyrians surrounded Jerusalem. They built camps on the hills. They sent messengers to the gates, demanding surrender, mocking the God of Israel, threatening everything the city held dear. The people inside the walls could hear them, could see their fires at night, could feel the weight of their presence, like a storm that would not pass. But the water flowed through this tunnel, hidden beneath the city, unknown to the enemy. Life-giving water reached the people. They drank, they washed, they cooked, they lived. Day after day, the water came, through the dark, through the stone, arriving where it was needed. And in the end, Jerusalem endured, because a way had been made in the dark, because hands had carved through stone, because water had found its path, because faith had been proven real. He provides a way in the dark. The water flows where it is needed. You are safe within the rock. Breathe slowly. These words are not meant to be understood all at once. They are meant to be received over time, like water seeping into stone. They will go deeper than your thoughts, deeper than your worries, deeper than the noise. They will settle into the quiet places where peace lives. Splash, step, splash, step. You continue through the tunnel, and the tunnel continues, holding you, guiding you, one step at a time. Through the cool, dark water, through the ancient stone, through the echoing way, toward the light that waits at the end. But not yet, not quite yet. There is still more time, here, in the deep, in the quiet, in the peace of the stone. He provides a way in the dark. The water flows where it is needed. You are safe within the rock. Let these words be the last words you hear. before the stillness comes. Let them rest in you, like water resting in the pool, still and clear and full. Something is changing. You feel it before you see it. A shift in the air, a widening, a sense of space opening up ahead of you. The tunnel walls are pulling back, slowly, gently, like hands releasing their hold. The ceiling is rising, and the darkness ahead is not quite as dark as it was. You are approaching the end, the pool of Siloam. Walk slowly. These last steps deserve to be taken slowly. The water at your feet is shallower now, spreading outward into something wider, calmer. The sound of your footsteps changes. The echo softens, opens, like a room opening into a garden. And then the tunnel releases you. You step out into open air, into the night, into the pool. The water here is still, almost perfectly still, and deep enough to reach your knees, and cool, so cool, and clear that if you looked down, you could see the ancient stones beneath, dark and smooth, and the faint shimmer of the water moving, just barely, just the slowest breath of movement. And above you, the sky, stars, countless stars, spread across the darkness like seeds scattered on dark soil, brilliant and ancient and impossibly far away and impossibly close. Their light falls on the water, and the water holds it, and the pool becomes a mirror, a dark mirror, reflecting heaven. You stand in water beneath stars, the tunnel mouth behind you, a dark and patient opening, a keeper of all that happened within it. The city somewhere above, sleeping now, or beginning to sleep. And here, in this space, between stone and sky, you are still. Drip. Drip. The sound continues from somewhere in the tunnel behind you. Water falling as it has fallen for millennia. Each drop the same, and each drop entirely new. The oldest lullaby in the world, singing itself into the quiet. The air is warm again after the cool of the tunnel, but you carry the coolness with you now, inside, like something you have swallowed, like something that has settled into your blood, into your breath. The warmth and the cool meet in you, and the meeting is gentle, and the meeting is peace. You do not move quickly. There is nothing to move toward. You have arrived. You are here. The journey through the stone is complete, and the pool receives you, and the stars watch over you, and the night holds you in its quiet hands. Listen, not to anything in particular. Listen to everything. Listen to nothing. Listen to the space between sounds, the silence between drips, the quiet between breaths. It is there, in that space, that the deepest peace lives. Not in the absence of sound, but in the space between. Drip, drip. Jesus came to this pool. The scriptures tell us so. He sent a blind man here to wash in the water that flows from Hezekiah's tunnel. The same water, this water, the water at your feet. And the man washed, and he came back, seeing. What do you see now that you could not see before? What has the dark revealed to you? What has the water washed clean? What has the stone taught you in its ancient, patient way about holding, about shelter, about the peace that endures when everything else has fallen away? The stars above you are the same stars that shone on Hezekiah, on the workers, on the city under siege, on Jesus, on the blind man, on every soul across all of time who has stood in water and looked up and seen the light coming from so far away, arriving here now on your face. Your face touched by ancient light, drip, the water still flows from the spring through the tunnel into this pool. It has not stopped. It will not stop. Faithful, constant, arriving where it is needed. You are clean. You are still. You are safe. Rest here in the pool under the stars. Let your body grow heavy. Let your eyelids grow heavy. Let the sound of the water and the silence between the drops carry you into the deep quiet, the deep rest, the deep peace. And now, as the sound of the droplets fades into the quiet of the night, let us speak together to the one who provides the living water, the one who carved the path through stone, the one who guides the flow in darkness and in light. Lord, just as you provided a hidden stream for your people in the desert, just as you guided those workers through the dark toward each other, provide a stream of peace for the one who listens tonight. Let the worries of this day be washed away slowly, gently, by your grace, carried downstream into the deep places where they cannot follow, where they cannot reach, where they sink heavy into stone and are still as they lay their head down tonight. Remind them gently that your mercies are new every morning, flowing like a spring that never runs dry, flowing like water through a tunnel, through the darkest places, into light, into life, into morning. May the quiet strength of the stone and the gentle rhythm of the water guide them into a deep, heavy, dreamless sleep. May their body sink into rest. May their breathing slow like the dripping of water in the deep places, slow and steady and sure. We thank you for the protection of the walls, for the refreshment of the spring, for the tunnel carved through darkness by faithful hands, for the water that never stops, for the way you provide, even when we cannot see it, even when we cannot hear it, even when the stone seems too thick and the darkness too deep. Cover this room with your presence. Fill this space with your peace. Let every worry sink heavy into stone. Let every fear settle quiet into the deep places where the water is cool and the darkness is not frightening, but restful. And let peace rise like water to take their place. Safe, protected, refreshed. The water flows where it is needed, always and forever, flowing in the dark, flowing in the light, flowing without end. You are held within the rock, held by the one who made the rock, held by hands that are stronger than stone, stronger than stone, stronger than anything. Rest now in the deep places where the stone is strong and the water is cool and the night is gentle and the hands that hold you will not let go, will not let go, will not let go. Let your breathing slow. Let your body sink heavy into stillness, into rest, into the quiet that is deeper than sleep. Let your mind be still as water in the pool, reflecting only stars, only light, only peace. Sleep now. Amen. 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 Amen.